Hi everyone, it's Ellen and I'm back with a new junk journal spread today. So I'm going for a vintage theme in my junk journal today, which is my favourite thing to do in my journal. And I was really inspired by this music paper that's on the right hand side of my page. So that's what inspired me to do a vintage style. And I've got these little scraps of vintage, almost like wallpaper style papers, and they're only about 2 inches wide, and I wanted to use them to cover up the left hand page because it's just white, so I wanted to make it look more vintage, and I thought I could stick 3 of these strips together to create my own sort of pattern paper with the strips, and I'm going to sew down these as well, and it looks it gives it a really nice effect. So I've just trimmed them down to the right size, attached them together just with a little bit of sellotape, and I'm just thinking now if I want to add one of my printable doilies to my spread, but I end up adding one of those later on. It doesn't really go on this page because it covers up too much of those really pretty pattern papers that I've chosen. So I've got my sewing machine here, and I'm just going to do a zigzag stitch down the joins of my pattern paper. And yeah, this looks really pretty. I was glad I thought of this. And then I'm going to create this into sort of a title page. So the next few things that I'm journaling about are just things that we've done at home. So I quite often will journal about a special day or a special place that we went, but sometimes it's really nice to document just those home memories, because those are the things that I think you'll miss, especially with Theo being so young at the moment. I already miss these things that I journal about with him now, because I've said before I'm a bit behind on my journaling. So all these photos that I use are from a year ago. And it's really nice to look back on them even now, so I really wanted to make a feature of just the at-home pictures today. So yeah, I wanted to create a little title piece. So I've got these chipboard thickers, and they're just brown, but I wanted to just add a little bit of colour to them. So I've got a Lindy's Gang blue spray. I can't remember the name of that. If you're interested, just let me know, and I'll find which colour it was, but it's sort of blue and brown, and that's a really easy way to quickly colour those letters. And then just to add a little bit more, I just splattered some of that spray onto the sort of Frankenstein paper that I created as well. So that's going to go at the top of the page, the title, and then I wanted something extra on the bottom half of the page. So I found this little journaling card. This is from Jen Hadfield's Peaceful Heart collection. I scrapbooked with this collection, and all of the leftovers have gone into my use it up box for my junk journal. And this quote just says, "These little moments are our big memories in the making." And I thought that was perfect because, as I said, I'm just journaling about everyday moments that at the time feel quite, dull, maybe, quite routine and things, but it's funny how quickly all of these things change. So yeah, I wanted to add a bit more blue just to that card because it was just black and white, so I just used one of my acrylic paint pens and coloured in some of those leaf sprigs, and it's just ties in the whole page a bit better. I'm just going to dry off these letters now, and I can get them stuck down onto my page. you will have seen me paint over my title piece just with some matte gel medium. The reason I did that is that some of the mica powder from the spray was rubbing off of the letters, and I just wanted to coat them in something to make sure the colour didn't just rub off onto the next page. So yeah, I just painted them with some matte gel medium and let that dry, and then I'm sticking them on to my page. I'm taking off a little bit of the chipboard just because my journal is already really bulky as it is, and I'm trying to minimise that as much as possible because I've got quite a few pages left to fill. So I've stuck them all down with tacky glue, and I also added a small piece of ripped washi tape to the top of my little quote journal card, and then I've sewn through the letters and the journal card just to keep everything secure. The stickers have a tendency to pop off of journal pages, I think, because they're always bending and moving, so it's a good idea to sew through them, and then you know you're not going to open it in a year's time and they've all fallen off and you can't remember what they say. So I'm going to work on this music paper now, and I've got a really pretty vintage postcard that I found in a local charity shop, so I'm going to work on the back of that, use that as sort of like a journaling card to slip into that pocket that I've already got ready-made on the music paper. And I've stuck a photo to the back of that. This is a photo of Theo, of course. He's just got out of the bath, and he's all bubbly and all cute. He's got all of his little baby rolls that he doesn't have anymore, so I love this photo. He looks so cute, bless him. And I'm going to use a couple of pieces from Cocoa Vanilla These Days collection, because a lot of those are focused around staying at home, so I thought they would work really well. So I've used a quote piece that says "Home is wherever I'm with you," and then I've also added a little house just to fill out that postcard a little bit more. Then I'm adding my journaling along the side of my photo, just with my Sharpie pen. And there's a couple of little annoying gaps, so I just fill those in with dash marks or with hearts, just little doodles. It just helps fill out that postcard a little bit better, and that's all finished. I do add a little tab to the top of my postcard just so I remember I can take that out. So yeah, I've got these little tab stickers from that Jen Hadfield collection that I've already used, and I just stick one either side. They just look like bulldog clips. And then I added a small quote to the bottom of the postcard that says, "I have the power to create the life I desire," and that's what I'm adding to that because I don't want to cover up the beautiful image from the vintage postcard. I've added a couple of house stickers from the Jen Hadfield collection to the bottom of my pocket on the music paper, and a lot of these stickers are cardstock stickers, so I do staple a lot of them down just to, again, make sure they don't ping off. I also use tacky glue. I just throw a lot of adhesive at my pages because it really bugs me when I go back to look at them and stuff has come off because I can't remember where it goes. So I can work on the top part of this page now, and I've got another photo, just another bath photo from Theo. It's almost the same photo but not quite. And they were both so cute I couldn't choose between them, so I've just stuck that straight onto the page on the top right hand corner, and I added another small Jen Hadfield sticker. It's just sort of like a gold leaf sprig. I've got a couple of gold points on this page already, so I wanted to add a little more into that. Moving on to the next page, I'm adding some washi tape along the top of my page. The main reason, along the sides and top of my page, sorry. The main reason for doing that is I want to cover up those staples, the underside of the staples. I just don't want them to scratch anything on the next few pages. So I like to use washi tape to cover those up. And then I've got a few photos of Theo here, and I'm just sticking them straight down onto the page. I occasionally like to do this just to get those photos on there. I don't need to say anything about these photos, but I want to document them still, so I just stick them straight onto the page sometimes. And as I said, my journal's getting so bulky that it's nice to just add the photos sometimes and leave it as that. The next page, I'm going to add one of my printable doilies. So these are available in my Etsy shop, which is always linked below. And I've got 2 packs of printable doilies and linens. And you will have probably seen me use these already. I'm absolutely loving using these. So yeah, you can find the link to them in my description. I've then got a large photo, and I didn't want to cut this up. I didn't want to separate the photos. I wanted to keep them as a 4x6 photo, but obviously they would fold back on itself because of how I've stuck the doily on. So I just cut down where the fold of the doily is on my photo, so that when I want to fold it back and forth, it's not creasing the photo. It just lays a bit flatter as well. And I like the effect of that. I think that looks quite good. I'm adding a little quote to the top of my page with another Jen Hadfield. It's like a journaling spot, and I've just wrote good food equals good mood, because I'm journaling about some food. And I am colouring in the sprigs of that little label piece with my blue pen as well, just to tie in all these pages together. Again, I'm still journaling about staying at home and yeah, just, you know, eating food. I love to cook. I really love to cook, so I wanted to document that as well. I'm adding another one of those house stickers. I absolutely love these. And then I wanted to journal about what it is that I'd cooked here. So I decided to just write it along the corner of my photo. I'm really enjoying writing my journaling in different ways, so horizontal and vertically, and mixing it up a bit. It just seems to make it a bit more interesting. And what I made here was my own fried chicken. Now, I absolutely love fried chicken. I don't know anyone who doesn't. And this was the first time I ever made my own, and it was really delicious. I really love to cook for my family, especially when I find a new recipe and then it works really well. It makes me really happy. So I had to document this one. And then on the front of my doily, I'm just adding a couple more pieces, a couple more food photos. So at the top I've got a fry up. So this is our Saturday brunch lunch food. I always make this for me, Brett and Theo. It's our favourite meal, I think. We all love a fry up. So I've got a picture of that so I can document that. And that's still the same now. Like, we started having them on a Saturday sort of lunchtime, early lunch, ages ago, and we still do that now, so that's quite nice to document. And then the second photo is a dessert we got delivered to the house. It was really extravagant and really expensive, but it was so delicious. Definitely not something that we'd have all the time, because it was probably really unhealthy, and Theo did not share in this one. He was in bed, so this was just a treat for me and Brett, and it was really delicious, so I wanted to document that. So I'm now working on my final page. I've got this cute little brown paper bag. I can't remember where it came from, but I'm going to turn that into a pocket. So I've just cut the second half off because that would just add unnecessary bulk. And then I'm sticking down the folded over side to the page so that I can slip things inside of it. This paper bag, it came from something I brought recently, and if ever there's a paper bag or anything like that, I keep it because I love to use things like that in my junk journal, because obviously you use things that you would normally throw away, so that's sort of the whole point of the junk journal. I've got a couple of photos to go in here, and I journaled on top of one of these photos. And basically the whole household was very poorly. Brett and I had a really bad reaction to our second COVID jabs at the same time as Theo was poorly, and at the time we thought he had chickenpox. And it wasn't until much later we realised it wasn't chickenpox, it was a allergic reaction. So the journaling that I added on the photo is talking about Theo's chickenpox, and it wasn't that. So I wanted to cover that up, and I just used a label sticker to do that, and wrote in it again. And those photos are so unattractive. I look so poorly, and so does Brett. We were really, really ill. It was horrible. But sometimes it's good to document these things in your journal as well. It doesn't always have to be, you know, having the best time. This was... looking back now, it's quite funny because we were so ill all at the same time, and it was absolutely horrendous. But now it's funny to look back and say and think, oh, our luck was terrible that week. So yeah, I've added this into my journal, and on the back I've added some vintage wallpaper and another bath photo of Theo, and I've just written our darling above that. I want to add something to the front of that paper bag pocket, so I've found another piece from the Cocoa Vanilla These Days collection, and that just says Home Sweet Home. I've doodled around the border again just to tie everything in that I've previously done on the pages, because I want to know that they're all sort of following the same theme. I added a Tim Holtz sticker that just says Together, and those are my pages all finished. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, thank you very much for being here. Bye everyone.